If you're looking for 4 quick and easy ways to improve your universe mode, then this video is for you. Now, for those who saw my last video, we simmed all the way from the end of WrestleMania 40 up until WrestleMania 41, stopping at every PLE along the way. And one thing that I noticed and that we've been talking about in the comments section is that the simming in this game in universe mode is bad, to say the least. So you guys have commented some suggestions on ways you can improve simming. I have went in and tested those suggestions as well as some theories of my own, and I came up with 4 ways that you can improve your universe mode in probably about 10 to 15 minutes right when you get things started at the beginning. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start up a brand new universe mode, and I have like a million saves because I've been testing out superstar mode and regular mode to just see different things. So we're going to start a brand new universe mode in classic, and it's going to start from absolute scratch. So you'll see here it is completely scratch. We have not done anything, obviously it just started up. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is fix your calendar. Now, make a decision on if you want to keep NXT in or not. I would suggest keeping NXT in because that's where some of the best talent currently in the WWE is at. So for this, we are going to keep NXT in, and I will show you how you should set up your calendar to give the game enough time to build up matches, change power rankings, and set up title matches and matches at your PLEs that actually make sense. Okay, so I've set up the next 3 months on how you should set up every single month on your calendar. And so what you want to do is you want to have your main roster, so your Raw and SmackDown PLE, the 3rd weekend of every month, whether you put them on Saturday and Sunday, it doesn't matter. And then your NXT PLE, if you're going to have one for that month, my suggestion would be putting it on the 4th week of the month. That way it allows 4 weeks time between each PLE to really get it going. The first month it'll be 3 weeks, but after that it'll be 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then so on and so forth. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the idea. It gives the game 4 weeks to set up matches for each PLE. What you don't want is for your calendar to look like this, where you have SummerSlam week 1, NXT still week 4, that's fine. Then Payback's week 1 this month, Fastlane. So if you keep it the first of the month, it stays consistent for a while, but then you have Survivor Series down here in the 4th week, nothing in December, Royal Rumble at the 4th week, now Elimination Chambers up at the 3rd week, NXT Vengeance is on the 1st week, NXT Roadblock's the 1st week, now WrestleMania is the 2nd week, there's 2, it's a mess. So my suggestion would be if you want to do just traditional format where there's basically 1 PLE for the main roster, 1 PLE for NXT every month, set them up consistently in the 3rd and 4th weeks of the month so it allows the game time to set up those matches in the PLEs that actually make sense. So the next thing I'm going to do is, to me, completely up to you. I would personally recommend doing this, but you don't have to if you don't necessarily want to, but it is going to make a difference in your PLE matches, and that's turning off automatic rivalries. What turning this off does is it allows the game to use the power ranking system and the division system to incorporate matches in your PLEs. Not every match at your PLE will be for a title. I originally thought that would be the case if I turned off automatic rivalries, but that's actually not true. And now that we have automatic rivalries off, we actually can just sim to Night of Champions, which is a a PLE that's supposed to be about titles. So a lot of these matches are for championships, obviously, because when you're watching a PLE, most matches are for championships, but you'll see there's one here that's not. You'll get probably between 1 to 2 to 3 matches in your PLEs, depending on how many matches you have total. Probably like 20%, like 10 to 20% of your PLE will be non-title matches. The rest will be title matches. But to me, that makes sense because, again, PLE matches are generally for titles. So the next thing that you can do, this is another one to me that is optional, but it does have to be addressed before you start your universe mode, and that is addressing the women's tag team division. Currently, as you know, there's not really a lot of women's tag teams in this game. There's actually only 3 in the game right now. So what it does is it basically just recycles this match over and over and over again. Katana Chance and Kayden Carter versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. In the video that I did in the simulation, there was 6 matches of 10 PLEs between these 4 women, just over and over and over again. Part of that was the rivalry system. It just put them in a rivalry over and over. It would end and start right back up. But also it was the fact that they would just be the #1 contenders for the belts. So like Katana Chance and Kayden Carter would lose the belts to Green and Niven, and then they would automatically be #1 contenders because there was nobody else in the division. Now I've made teams. I can't figure out how to get them in the contendership division. And so you see that I just created a team, and I'll show you guys the team that I created. I just called them Test Team. And I just put Alexa Bliss and Asuka together. I made sure they were both on Raw. So I've taken Alexa Bliss out of the contendership for this completely. She is not on here at all. I thought that maybe they can't be in 2 divisions at once. Who knows with this game at this point. That is not the case. There's still no way to add them on. And so you're going to just get this repetitiveness in the women's tag team division. My suggestion, honestly, is to remove this division for the time being, or at the very minimum, take these championships away, still have a women's tag team division, but take the titles away for the time being. And then, like I said before, just create teams. Again, you could do like Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair. One sim I had like Io Sky, Naomi a year from now. The game does actually create tag teams and disband tag teams if you keep that option on right here. And I would suggest keeping it on because it does add a variety to the simulation. But overall, the women's tag team division in this game is broken because there's just not that many of them. So your 2 options are to create a bunch of women's tag teams yourself, or just disband it altogether for the time being, or at the very minimum, take the women's tag titles away, at least at the beginning of your simulation, and then see if the game has naturally created other teams and taken some away, and then maybe you could add them back and see how the division looks that way. Okay, last thing here, and this one is the most time consuming. So if you don't care about necessarily your cards being 100% simulation as far as like there always being a world title on at the end of the show or anything like that, then don't worry about doing this step. But if you're one to worry about that and you want it to be as sim and as realistic as possible, then this is probably going to be the most important thing that you can do, and that is setting the tables for the PLEs. So from my understanding, what these tables are is it's basically all of this adds up to 100, and it's the percent chance that these matches are going to happen on each card. And then you can also put a limit on this as well. And so to me, at least, because we've turned the rivalry system off completely, we don't have to really worry about this section of it. We can just focus here. And if you want to do Raw and SmackDown, I would suggest they do a pretty good job of keeping it like kind of random, where every once in a while you'll have some triple threats or some fatal 4-ways. If you want to go in and add even more to this, you can. So say every once in a while you might want a steel cage match on Monday Night Raw. Well, you can then take down the chance of a tag match to 88%, and maybe you put this up to 12. And so, or excuse me, 13. So now there's a 13% chance each week that there's going to be a steel cage match at least one time in your show. If you want it to be a limit of 1, which there's always only 1, you can do that as well. And this is kind of what it will look like. If you're seeing a ton of tag team matches, you have 2 different options. You can either put this down even more, or you can just set the limit down to 1 or maybe 2, and then just keep the one-on-one normal matches at an unlimited amount. So this is for Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. If you want to have a smorgasbord of matches, so say every once in a while you might want a 2-on-2 tag match, or a table match. Every once in a while you might want a triple threat falls count anywhere. Every once in a while you might want, I don't know, a 6-man Hell in a Cell match on Raw. You can do that, and then you can just say, okay, well, there'll be like a 41% chance of that, and then like a 4% chance of a table tag match, a 4% chance of a false count anywhere, 5% chance of a Hell in a Cell. Just make sure that total equals 100%. And then if you don't necessarily care what the main event is, then don't worry about it. But if you do, you could always say, well, if there's specialty matches, I want those to be the main event. So I can just check those as well. And then if you do that, these would be the only matches that could main event your show. So a 2-on-2 tag match, a triple threat normal match, a fatal 4-way normal match, or a 6-superstar triple threat tornado tag, man, that's a tongue twister, will not main event your show. So it would just be these ones that would main event. So because it's a Raw and SmackDown or an NXT, I don't necessarily recommend doing that, but you could have, again, this smorgasbord of matches. You can go all the way down here and put as many as you want, and then make sure that you save. Make sure it equals 100% on the total, and then you'll see your Raws be a little bit more random. So now that you have your tables edited for your weekly shows, your Raws, your SmackDowns, your NXTs, or whatever your weekly show may be in your universe, now it's time to edit PLE tables. Now, I will keep this kind of up to you all how you want to edit this, because I just simmed a Backlash, and you'll see the game put on a pretty good PLE overall with me just turning automatic rivalries off. It used that power ranking and division system to put these matches together, and the matches are pretty solid, I have to say. So, again, it's up to you all if you want to edit tables for every PLE. So this is what the table looks like for Backlash. That's just what they put together. Honestly, it's pretty solid. It keeps the main event scene pretty open, which isn't bad. My recommendation, honestly, would just to be do this, because tag matches generally never main event the show. So I would maybe do that, or you could even do this and save. And what that does is it basically ensures that it's not like a tag team title match at the end of your show, because that's just something that doesn't really ever happen. I guess sometimes it does, but it's very rare. Now, if you want to take the reins a little bit more of your PLE, then you could set these limits to the amount of matches that you have on your show. So, for example, we have 6 matches on this Backlash PLE. So let's say, for example, I want the computer to book 1 special guest referee match. We'll go with 1 ladder match, and we don't want a 6-man tag, and we'll keep a triple threat, and that'll be that. So you can set all of these to 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it'll be 6 matches on your card. And then again, if you just wanted only these to have the possibility of a main event, you could. And then you could always mess with these chances as well. But I don't believe, from my experience, let me know in the comments section if you've had different, that chance percentage will matter, because all of the limits are set to the amount of matches that you have on your card. So you should just see one of each of these, no matter the chance percentage, because all the limits have been set to 1. So it's completely up to you as far as how in-depth or not in-depth you want to get with every single table for every single PLE or every single weekly show. The one thing that I would recommend you have to do is change specialty PLE tables, Money in the Bank being the biggest one. When I did my simulation, if you saw, we had 2 ladder matches. One was for the women's Money in the Bank briefcase, and then the second one was actually for the women's world title. There was no men's Money in the Bank match. Now, this is a very easy fix. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Money in the Bank, go to table, and 8 superstar ladder match, the championship is probably on. What you want to do is you want to turn that off and then hit save. The game does not register the Money in the Bank briefcase as a championship, so it'll ensure those ladder matches are not for any title, but instead they are for the briefcase. So you'll see we have the women's match here, and then the main event is the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. So again, SummerSlam, if you want SummerSlam to have an epic main event, let's just say we want it to be a Hell in a Cell and we want it to be for the main event and we want it to be for a title, we can go ahead and put that on there, put the main event percentage up to 100, so it is going to be the main event. And then if we sim to SummerSlam, let's see what type of main event the game puts in a Hell in a Cell. So they go with Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley in a Hell in a Cell. Great match. The women's world heavyweight title's on the line. A great title to have last, not like the US or Intercontinental. We see the triple threat. Sami Zayn is now getting in the world heavyweight title picture a little bit. This is a different match. Cameron Grimes is getting a shot at the US title versus Karrion Kross. We have seen this match a couple times. The tag division is a little finicky for sure. Of course, we're seeing this match again, just disbanded at this point. Ivar and Eric versus Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. That could potentially be a #1 contenders match. And then The Miz and Gunther for the IC title. So the matches definitely make more sense, and they're not all title matches. This is just a better card overall than if you had automatic rivalries on and you did not mess with the tables at all. So that'll do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I got inspired to go in and really experiment with universe mode after my latest sim because I want to do more sims like that on the channel. It was a lot of fun to do it. It was just after a while, just like, this is not really realistic at all. And as someone who enjoys realism and simulation out of video games, it took a little bit of the immersion away from me. So hopefully these tips help you guys. If you have any more tips, tricks, anything like that to get the most out of universe mode, definitely drop them in the comment section below. I got some of these ideas from some of you guys in the comment section, so thank you for that. I really do appreciate you stopping by and giving away some of those tips and tricks that helped you in your universe mode. Hopefully this video will help some people out there as well. Get the most out of this mode that can be fun with a few slight tweaks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like, subscribing to the channel. It's always greatly appreciated so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.